Lucille Ball was an American actress, comedian, producer, and studio executive. She was recognized by Time in 2020 as one of the most influential women of the 20th century for her work in all four of these areas. Born August 6, 1911, Jamestown, New York, United States. Died April 26, 1989, age 77 years, Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, Los Angeles, California, United States. Spouse Gary Morton, M. 1961 to 1989. Desi Arnaz, M. 1940 to 1960. Place of burial Lakeview Cemetery. Children Lucy Arnaz, Desi Arnaz. Grandchildren Julia Arnaz, Catherine Luckenbill, Haley Arnaz, Joseph Luckenbill, Simon Luckenbill. Lucille Ball, net worth $60 million. Personal life. In 1940, Ball met Cuban-born bandleader Desi Arnaz while filming the Rodgers and Hart stage hit Too Many Girls. They connected immediately and eloped on November 30th, 1940, 2 months after the film opened. Although Arnaz was drafted into the Army in 1942, he was classified for limited service due to a knee injury. He stayed in Los Angeles, organizing and performing USO shows for wounded GIs brought back from the Pacific. Ball filed for divorce in 1944, obtaining an interlocutory decree. However, she and Arnaz reconciled, precluding the entry of a final decree. On July 17, 1951, less than 3 weeks prior to her 40th birthday, Ball gave birth to daughter Lucy Desiree Arnaz. A year and a half later, she gave birth to Desiderio Alberto Arnaz IV, known as Desi Arnaz Jr. Before he was born. I Love Lucy was a solid ratings hit, and Ball and Arnaz wrote the pregnancy into the show. Ball's necessary and planned cesarean section in real life was scheduled for the same date that her television character gave birth. CBS insisted that a pregnant woman could not be shown on television, nor could the word pregnant be spoken on air. After approval from several religious figures, the network allowed the pregnancy storyline, but insisted that the word expecting be used instead of pregnant. Arnaz garnered laughs when he deliberately mispronounced it as spectin. The episode's official title is Lucy is enceinte, borrowing the French word for pregnant. However, episode titles never appeared on screen. The episode aired on the evening of January 19, 1953, with 44 million viewers watching Lucy Ricardo welcome little Ricky, while in real life Ball delivered her second child, Desi Jr., that same day in Los Angeles. The birth made the cover of the first issue of TV Guide for the week of April 3rd to 9th, 1953. In October 1956, Ball, Arnaz, Vance, and William Frawley all appeared on a Bob Hope special on NBC, including a spoof of I Love Lucy, the only time all four stars were together on a color telecast. By the end of the 1950s, Desilu had become a large company, causing a good deal of stress for both Ball and Arnaz. On March 3, 1960, a day after Desi's 43rd birthday, and 1 day after filming the final episode of the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour, Ball filed papers in Santa Monica Superior Court, claiming married life with Desi was a nightmare and nothing at all, as it appeared on I Love Lucy. On May 4, 1960, they divorced. However, until his death in 1986, Arnaz and Ball remained friends and often spoke fondly of each other. Her real-life divorce indirectly found its way into her later television series, as she was always cast as an unmarried woman, each time a widow. The following year, Ball starred in the Broadway musical Wildcat, co-starring Keith Andes and Paula Stewart. It marked the beginning of a 30-year friendship with Stewart, who introduced Ball to second husband Gary Morton, a Borscht Belt comic 13 years her junior. Morton and Ball married on November 19, 1961. According to Ball, Morton claimed he had never seen an episode of I Love Lucy due to his hectic work schedule. She immediately installed Morton in her production company, teaching him the television business and eventually promoting him to producer. He also played occasional bit parts on her various series. They had homes in Beverly Hills and Palm Springs, California, and in Snowmass Village, Colorado. Letters regarding her marriage to Morton were published. Boy, did I pick a winner. Ball wrote to a friend in 1983 after she married Morton in 1961. After 19 years with that Latin lover, I never expected to marry again, but I'm glad I did. Ball was outspoken against the relationship her son had with actress Patty Duke. Later, commenting on when her son dated Liza Minnelli, she said, "I miss Liza, but you cannot domesticate Liza." Early life. Lucille Desiree Ball was born on Sunday, August 6, 1911, at 69 Stewart Avenue in Jamestown, New York. The first child and only daughter of Henry Durrell had Ball, a lineman for Bell Telephone, and Desiree Evelyn Dee née Hunt Ball. Her family belonged to the Baptist Church. Her ancestors were mostly English, but a few were Scottish, French, and Irish. Some were among the earliest settlers in the 13 colonies, including Elder John Crandall of Westerly, Rhode Island, and Edmund Rice, an early emigrant from England to the Massachusetts Bay Colony. Her father's Bell Telephone career frequently required the family to move during Lucy's early childhood. The first was to Anaconda, Montana, and later to Trenton, New Jersey. On February 28, 1915, while living in Wyandotte, Michigan, Lucy's father died of typhoid fever at age 27 when Lucy was only 3. At that time, Dee was pregnant with her second child, Fred Ball, 1915 to 2007. Lucille recalled little from the day her father died, except a bird getting trapped in the house, which caused her lifelong ornithophobia. Ball's mother returned to New York, where maternal grandparents helped raise Lucy and her brother Fred in Celeron, a summer resort village on Chautauqua Lake. Their home was at 59 West 8th Street, later renamed to 59 Lucy Lane. Also living in the house were Ball's aunt and uncle, Lola and George Mandicos, and their daughter, Lucy's first cousin Cleo. Having grown up with Lucy, Cleo would later work as a producer on several of Lucy's radio and television programs, and Lucy also introduced Cleo to her second husband, the Los Angeles Times critic Cecil Smith. Ball loved Celeron Park, a popular amusement area at the time. Its boardwalk had a ramp to the lake that served as a children's slide, the Pier Ballroom, a roller coaster, a bandstand, and a stage where vaudeville concerts and plays were presented. For years after Henry Ball's death, Dee married Edward Peterson. While they looked for work in another city, Peterson's parents cared for Lucy and Fred. Ball's step-grandparents were a puritanical Swedish couple who banished all mirrors from the house except one over the bathroom sink. When Lucy was caught admiring herself in it, she was severely chastised for being vain. She later said that this period of time affected her deeply, and it lasted 7 or 8 years. When Lucy was 12, her stepfather encouraged her to audition for his Shriners organization that needed entertainers for the chorus line of its next show. While Ball was on stage, she realized performing was a great way to gain praise. In 1927, her family was forced to move to a small apartment in Jamestown after their house and furnishings were sold to settle a legal judgment.